Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation reads like this. I am a truck driver, so I want to confess that I picked up some 29 Somalians. They were supposed to go to South Africa illegally, and I wanted quick cash because of some of the things that were happening in my life at that time. And I am a man who has multiple girlfriends. As you know that when you have multiple girlfriends, obviously you need to make sure that you hustle at the place where you will be working. Girlfriends is what will make you to steal when you are at work, because they will be demanding money from you. So I started having girlfriends wherever my boss will send me to: Botswana, Zambia, Zim, and South Africa. As a man who is always surviving on takeaways as a truck driver, I then saw that it was very hard. So if I have a girlfriend in Zambia, at least she can cook some food for me, as well as in Botswana. When I am in her country, she can cook some nice food for me, which I'll be missing a lot, as well as South Africa and my country, Zim. So I used to survive on stealing diesel. By that time, that was when our boss saw that we were stealing his diesel, and then he put what they call fuel drop sensors and cameras so that we can't steal the diesel anymore. What we used to do is that whenever we'll go to the pump, we will deal with the people that will be working at the fuel station, and then they will make sure that they put the diesel first into the empty containers that we would have, 7, 5 or whatever, and then after that we will fill up the tank without our bosses ever realizing that this is how we are stealing the diesel. You sell the diesel and then you give your girlfriend the money that you would have gotten after you would have sold the diesel that you would have stolen. So our boss saw that something was wrong. He was no longer making any money. He then placed some cameras, and after that was when it became so difficult. I was now a man who was even risking his job. I had this other South African girlfriend of mine. I have a child with her, even though she is married. So I told her that I did not have any money. We then came up with a plan. I robbed myself. I spoke with these other guys, those guys that sell your second-hand tires. I spoke with them, and then they came and removed the tires, the whole trailer. We removed the tires, and then after they had given me the money, they went away. Tandi, my girlfriend, she came. She was the one who strapped me to the driver's seat, tied me with a strap and ratchets as if it was one of those criminals. Yet we had made a deal. My boss, he's a man who does not like for me to go and park at the truck stop. He's very stingy. So he will just say, when you find a place where there is a toll gate, you'll park at that toll gate. I was in need of money at that very same toll gate. Those guys, they came and then they stole all of the tires, and they gave me the money, and I lied to my boss that they had came and they had robbed me. I kept on risking until when those Somalians died in my truck, and this when I decided it. I knew that it was a wrong move, because I never wanted to get involved in those type of hustles where you transport people from Zambia to South Africa in your truck. But they were offering me a lot of money. Unfortunately, there was an accident that happened. So those guys, then they died. 10 of those guys, they died. And some of them, the Somalians that were still remaining in that truck, that were still alive, they helped me one by one. We carried the bodies after I had parked close to this other river, and we threw those bodies into the river. Now I am struggling because of the nightmares. I have been driving trucks for the past 12 years, moving cargo from Zimbabwe to South Africa, Zambia, Botswana, wherever my boss will send me to. But the trucking business itself, the driver does not get paid enough, because as for me, I get paid by the Lord, especially when you have a girlfriend, and above it all, when you have 4 girlfriends from 4 different countries. So I do have women that I have kids with. There is one whom I'll call Maria. She's from Botswana. She's a woman with a beautiful body, and she loves expensive wigs. She always demands that I buy for her those expensive wigs. Then there is one whom I'll call Tandi, a traffic cop from South Africa. And that woman, even though we have a child together, she won't even answer my calls if I haven't sent her money. And this girl, the way that she treats me, it is not nice. She's like a tomboy, so she wants to control the relationship. If I am in South Africa, even if after I would have given her money, she will always wait for me to fall fast asleep. She will then steal the money from me. If I say, Thandi, why are you stealing the money from me? Because you know that I have a family. She will say, you are not even paying SARS in this country. So this money that I am taking, it is the money for SARS. So that is what she always say, and she controls the relationship. Even if I say, can you send me a picture of our child, even on WhatsApp, she will make me to pay first before she shows me my child. Then there is a humble woman whom I'll call Chipo from Harare. That one I named her Small Things because that is all that she cares about. And I am in South Africa. If I say, what can I bring to you, my love, now that I am returning back to Zim? And then she'll say, anything small, it will be fine. That is all that she said she wants from me. When I am in South Africa, buy me some groceries. When you go wherever, just buy me small, nice things. It can even be rice from Zambia, beans from wherever. Just make sure that you provide for me. She's a married woman and she is cheating because her husband was cheating on her. So this is her own revenge. That is why she sleeps with me and she asked me to impregnate her. Then there is Natasha from Zambia. She is the most demanding woman of them all. So most of the people, they think that in SADC, women from South Africa are the ones that love money above all the women who can be found in SADC countries. But what they don't know is that Zambian women, they are the most demanding of them all. Women from Lusaka, Zambia, those women, they will silently finish you off. They are very different from South African women. A South African woman, she will have multiple boyfriends and yet will demand money from you. Not these Zambian women. They are silent killers. She can be dating many men and she will be so honest with you so much that the day that you will find out that this woman has been cheating on you, you can commit suicide. I have had stories of other truck drivers. These truck drivers, what happened to them was that they dated these women from Zambia, Lusaka, for many, many years. Those women making them to believe that they are so innocent and honest. And when you look at a Zambian woman, you will never even think for a day that she will ever cheat on you, the way that she will be humble, but she will show you flames. Like this woman, I used to try to track her down. I would lie to her that I am still in South Africa, yet I would have already crossed the border into Zim, travel through the night so that I can catch her cheating. You can never catch a Zambian woman cheating unless she wants you to catch her cheating when she is done with you, and they are the most demanding of them all. So it is very hard to keep up with these women with the driver's salary that I am earning. I cannot fund my lifestyle, yet I love women. That is why we started stealing diesel. It was easy until our boss installed cameras and those drop sensors, and we had to find another hustle. That was when another truck driver made me to meet a man whom I'll call Farah, a Somalian middleman. So his job is that he smuggles people from East Africa into Southern Africa. So back in those days, the Somalians, they used to love to go to South Africa like a lot because that was where they had their businesses. But now, since a lot of ships, they are now going through Mozambique. That is where there is a harbor there where they are going with the goods, maybe from different parts of the world. So the Somalians are going there now because they are into the business of importing things from different parts of the world. So most of the Somalians now, they are migrating into Mozambique. So when I met this guy, he told me that there was a good hustle of transporting people across Southern Africa, in which I never liked to do such a thing because it is scary. If you get caught, I did not want. Until I was introduced to that man. He was like, driver, can you carry 29 of my people? And I said, okay, it is okay. For the money was too good for me to say no. And that woman, she had been demanding money from me, that Zambian woman. And I said, let me just take this money. So my boss had told me that I would go and deliver with a taut liner and bring it back to the yard. But it was already too late when he told me that I was supposed to bring back that taut liner trailer to the yard, because if I had been using that taut liner, there was no way that these guys were going to suffocate, because you can breathe easy easily in there. Unfortunately, my boss then told me that I was supposed to pick up a refrigerated container full of frozen fish headed for South Africa. And I spoke with those Somalian guys and I said, I cannot put you in this container because you are going to die. But those people, they are prepared for anything. They told me that they were going to find some clothes. You know, those people that work in the cold rooms, they use this type of overalls that can keep you warm at all the times. That was what they had. And they said that they could survive the cold. It is because these people, they have been through a lot. They are born in war and then they live throughout the war and then they run away from the war and they are prepared for any kind of situation. They said, no, just take us to South Africa. And I did not want that. Those Somalians, they climbed in, men, women, and even children, locked the doors, and they continued driving. So as I was still driving in Zim, that was when I said, there is something that is happening at the trailer, because I heard a banging sound that was coming out. I turned up the radio because I did not want to stop because the road was full of people, and then they kept on banging and banging and banging. And now it was filled with screams. I pulled over after about 1.5 hours after I had been driving, and I then got out of the truck. I opened the trailer doors. Oh my God, I saw that 10 of them, they had piled them up. They were dead. I said, oh Lord, what has happened now? Oh, why did I take these people? Why did I take this money? What am I going to do? I started panicking and I said, I'm going to the police. I'm going to the police to report myself that this is what has happened. Then one of them said, you cannot do that, because the problem with them is that when they are migrating from East Africa, they use a lot of money. They explained it to me that if you go right now, we are going to get arrested. Some of them, they work throughout their lives so that they can just migrate to Southern Africa. And for them to get arrested and to be sent back to their country, some of them even claimed that they even worked in sort of like slavery, working and never getting anything until when they wanted to migrate. That is when they are given their money. I said, let me just call my boss so that I can inform him. And they said that you're going to be fired. It was a bad decision that I had taken, a terrible decision. One of the men who seemed to be the leader of the group, he stepped in front and he said, we have seen worse things than this. What you need to tell yourself right now, driver, is that this is a war zone. You are in the middle of a war and people, they die, and we need to make a plan. You know this country. Do you know any place where we can find a river? I then said, yes, there is a place where we can find a river. And then I took him there, and when we went there, that was when he said, this is the spot where we are going to leave them. We started fetching them one by one, walking through the bushes. This we did throughout the night, and we dumped them into the river. All of them, 10 of them, they disappeared beneath the surface, never to be found. I drove and I arrived in Joburg, where they were met by other people, and then I left them there. I went to Thandi, but she never even bothered to know where I had found the money, how I had gotten the money. All she did was to demand the money and to take even more when I was asleep. Then the nightmares came. It was 2 nights later. I was driving on an empty road. Then in the middle of the road, I saw a man. This man was like 3 to 5 meters in front of me. I was moving at 70 to 75 kilometers. And when you know, as a truck driver, that you are moving at such a high speed, in a car, it's like you are moving about 120 to 140 kilometers. You cannot just stop unless if you want to die. So I just hit that person that was standing in front of the road, and then I stopped the truck and I said, oh God, why now? Why is this happening? I have killed another person. Oh my God, now I'm going to get arrested. So I got out of the truck and then I rushed back to the trailer because I knew that the impact, that person would have been dragged by the trailer. I took out my phone, switched off my light, and then I started searching underneath the trailer. I did not see anyone. So I was almost kneeling down as I was searching, looking for the body that I had hit, and I could not see anything. That was when I felt that there was someone that had gotten hold of my shoulder. And then I said, oh no, it is those Nyaupe boys. Now they have got me. This was a trap. There was nothing that I hit. It was a trap. But Brother Nashi, I felt that the person that was holding me by the shoulder, the hands were so cold, like icy cold. And when I turned around, when I looked, I then saw that it was a Somalian man, a ghost. It was a spirit of a Somalian man, and I knew what it was. Then I saw fire. It was just a little flame that was dancing around. That man disappeared. I started running. Then that man started following me, chasing after me. As I was running, I fell to the ground. Even now, when I walk, I have a limp because I got injured on that night when I fell to the ground. One by one, they started appearing as they were chasing after me, as if it was happening in slow motion, until I got into the truck. The truck could not even start, and then I just fainted. Throughout the night, I only woke up when it was in the morning. My boss was so angry at me. I asked him for his forgiveness, and then I continued driving. I have tried praying, it does not work. I have tried to go to church, it does not work. I even went to a traditional healer in Mbare after I had been given his contacts. This man will help you, I was told. I went there. As soon as I walked in, the old man said, young man, there is blood on your hands. I paid him, he cleansed me, but still the dreams are coming back and I can't even drive at night. This is what I do because I keep on seeing these Somalians that died in my truck. So there are these WhatsApp groups for truck drivers. I always look for someone that can accompany me because I am scared to be alone at night, because I will see the spirits of those people that died in my truck. This is my own confession. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.